Free power is coming to Victoria, and here's what you need to know. No, this is not a scam or a government incentive that has a catch. This is genuinely free power between 11 and 2 for all Victorians who choose to opt in. I'm going to run you through what you need to know and answer some commonly asked questions so that you can take advantage of this awesome scheme coming up in October. Let's get started. The Midday Power Saver is a government initiative designed to load shift our whole country. When it comes to the Australian grid, we have two key critical times of day that are causing problems. The first one is between 3 and 9. That's when we're all getting home, that's when we're all cooking dinner, watching telly, and we have these high surges in power that we can't necessarily meet fast enough and that cause issues for the grid, which is why many homeowners are paying more for their power between 3 and 9 p.m. The second moment of crisis that we often have on the grid that causes pressure is between 11 and 2. And that one's for a good reason. We have so much renewable energy that it actually can put the grid at risk. The Midday Power Saver is designed to solve both these problems by taking power that people are using between 3 and 9 and encouraging them and incentivizing them to use that power between 11 and 2. The wholesale rate of electricity between 11 and 2 is actually often free. So we're already starting to see retailers offer free power during that time frame. But now with this free power being a requirement for all of Victoria, that's ensuring that anyone can access that renewable energy. And every time someone decides to do something between 11 and 2 because they're retired at home or home with the kids and they can, they're taking pressure that was most likely happening between 3 and 9. It works for everyone, and it's stopping our retailers making the most money off everybody between 11 and 2 when power is ultimately free. The reason this is possible is because 1 in 3 homes have already opted to put solar up. There's so much solar that those people aren't often home, and some of those people are starting to get batteries to store that power, but there's a lot of surplus power available on the grid during that time. And if we're going to reach our targets and renewables, the best thing we can do is trying to shift some of that demand and load usage to during the time we have power available. And sometimes that's possible and sometimes it's not. Those who live in apartments or those who can't afford solar or just don't have roofs that are suitable can still benefit from all that renewable energy that's going around. For those who are home or retired and might be putting their dishwasher or their washing machine, those things can now happen in the middle of the day for free. And who wouldn't want to do that for free, especially those who don't have solar or live in apartments that can't have solar? They can now benefit, and that's taking pressure off the grid later in the day. So this is not something that the government is doing to try and make your bills cheaper. It's actually something they're doing to try to solve the infrastructure problem. But either way, everybody wins. So who's going to benefit from this free power and how much are they going to save? Let's run some numbers to give you a bit of an idea of what this could mean. If most of our clients that we see have an average usage somewhere between, say 26, 27 kilowatt hours per day, if we times that by 365 days, we're at roughly 10,000 kilowatt hours for the year. Say you're able to shift 25%. So that's running heating and cooling during the day so it doesn't have to run later. It's putting the dishwasher on a timer, the dryer on a timer, the washing machine on, any other household appliance that can run during the day, shifting it to run between 11 and 2. Now that's roughly 2,500 kilowatt hours that now is free. And if we assume that you're paying 30 cents per kilowatt hour for the power that you buy, it's between $700 to $800 that you're going to save by shifting that usage without needing to get a better rate, without needing to use less power. If you've watched or followed along before, you'll know that everything we're about here is not about using less power, it's about how you use more power to make your life comfortable, convenient, but do it in a way that you have control. Do it in a way that is sustainable for the environment and for future generations to come, and completely guilt-free. If you're thinking about a solar and battery system, or maybe you already have 1 or 2 of those things, and you're wondering how this free power is going to affect you, a lot of you might think, well, I'm making solar during 11 and 2. And you're right, and that's what I used to think too. Back when OVO first released their free power between 11 and 2, a whole 12 months went past before we accessed it or used it or saw the benefit, because we made the assumption, well, we have power for free then anyway, what good is it to us? but how wrong I was. As time went on and costs went up, we realised that we were no longer able to get the bills that we used to get. The supply charge was increasing, the export, any money we were getting for export was, whittling away to nothing, and something had to change. And the change that we made was charging our battery from the grid. Now, OVO had a plan that gave us free power during this time. This is now going to be available to every Victorian. And what we do is that between 11 and 2, we fill our battery. The power is free. And we run all the appliances that can possibly run appropriately during that time instead of later on. And that means it doesn't matter what the weather is. Every day when I get home, pick the kids up from school and hit that peak time of power, my battery's full. It could have been a hailstorm, it could have been snowing, it could have been torrential downpour. It really doesn't matter. And that means that the investment I made in my battery, I get to use that 365 days of the year, guaranteed. Now, it is a backup. It is not how I would recommend that you design your system from the get-go. It's designed as a fail-safe to kind of ensure my investment, to make sure that I get to use it every single day, no matter what else is going on the grid or with the weather. If you've got a battery, then you can definitely charge that battery from the grid. And what that'll mean is that you'll be able to insure your battery to some degree and just guarantee and make it foolproof that no matter what the weather is, no matter what's happening on the grid, that you can use that battery every single day. If you've got solar and solar alone, you would have noticed that you're not really getting much for what you export back to the grid. And that is because the wholesale rate of that electricity is zero during the day, which is exactly where this process and scheme is coming from. We've got all this power available and it's not costing anything, so why don't we get everybody using it? So if you've got solar and you've been thinking about a battery, this is kind of a bit of reassurance for you that it doesn't matter what you do with your battery. If you set it up right and you set it up smart, you'll be able to fill it every day no matter what else is happening around you. So what can you do during the day to start benefiting once this comes in? The type of appliances and things that you would use in your house are the things that we've been shifting for years now on the OVO Free for 3 plan. The first thing that we do comes down to heating and cooling, because most homes spend the largest percentage of their energy on heating and cooling their home. We might not be home during the day, we're a busy family, but we have a couple of smart rules set on our Mitsubishi air conditioner to make sure that we can benefit without any hard work, even if we're not home. We've got a rule set up that if the temperature in our home exceeds 25 degrees between 11 and 2, our aircon is going to cool. Now, yes, we might not be there to benefit right in that moment, but when we do get home and we're not on free power anymore, we'll have a nice cool home and we won't need to run the aircon. We do the same thing in winter. We run our heating if the house gets, sort of below 12, 13 degrees, and we'll make sure we heat up the home, because come 2 o'clock, it's not long until I pick up the kids and I'm home only a few hours later. And then I'm coming home to a warm home rather than having to kick that heating in, have it ramp right up and do all the heavy lifting when power is most expensive. A couple of other things we do is we set our washing machine and our dryer to run and wash the clothes between 11 and 2. We run our dishwasher between 11 and 2, and we have some underfloor heating in our bathrooms as well. You can also run those between 11 and 2. If there's anything else you guys have been thinking of, I'd love you to pop it in the comments below. I'd love to find out what everybody else is thinking of using this free power for. So you might be wondering, how are you going to set this up and what happens when October rolls around? Now, the first thing to know is this is not automatic. You do need to opt in and request this plan from your retailer. Exactly what that looks like, we'll find out a little bit closer to the time. Ask for this type of plan come October. One of the things you need to make sure that you have in preparation is an electricity smart meter. So if you've got a really old home, or you know that inside your meter box is a meter that's really outdated, you won't be able to access this type of plan without a smart meter. Most people already have an electricity smart meter. If you have any time of use element to your bill, then you'll already have this feature. It's only if you've got an old home and you know you've been putting it off. The other thing to note is if you're thinking, well, I'm not home during 11 and 2, this doesn't help me. That's where a battery comes in. Because if you're not home during 11 and 2, you can fill that battery with free power from the grid and also probably some power from your solar to make sure that then you can use that power from the battery to power your home between 3 and 9 instead of buying power at peak rates. So should you opt in when it rolls around? 100%. I can't think of any homeowner who shouldn't be taking up this offer. Whether or not you're thinking about solar and battery, don't even have the option to get solar and battery, already have solar and are considering a battery, or have a complete home setup like I do, I would definitely be opting in. Who doesn't want free power? For anyone transitioning to an all-electric home or just wanting to make their home smarter and save them money, this is a great benefit. If you've got any questions about how this is going to happen, or how we're seeing other customers use this, or how I personally use these 3 hours every day, please pop a comment below. We're here to help answer any of your questions and make sure you've got the best home set up to live as comfortable and conveniently as possible.